ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Anuja.
And I'm Hital, and by popular demand, today we're making vegetable biryani. So there's quite a few steps here involved, so let's get started.
Yes, hang in there. You'll know exactly what to do. So here's what you need.
For the rice, 2 cups basmati rice, 1-inch piece of cinnamon, 1 bay leaf, 5 whole cloves, 1 green cardamom, few mint leaves, salt to taste, 1 teaspoon oil, 8 cups water, 1 tablespoon ghee or clarified butter. For the biryani masala, 6 whole dried red chilies, 6 whole cloves, 2 tablespoons whole coriander seeds, 3 tablespoons oil, 1/4 cup whole cashews, 1/4 cup walnuts, 1 cup cubed paneer, 1/2 teaspoon black cumin, 1 bay leaf, 1-inch piece of cinnamon, 4 whole cloves, 1 black cardamom, 3 medium potatoes, peeled and cut to big pieces, 1/2 of a medium cauliflower, cut into big florets, 1 large onion, sliced, 1 cup green beans, cut into thirds, 1/2 cup carrots, cut to big pieces, 1 cup frozen green peas, 1 large tomato, cut into big pieces, green chilies, slit to taste, 2 tablespoons ginger garlic paste, salt to taste, 2 teaspoons coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon turmeric powder, a handful of mint leaves, 2 tablespoons dried fenugreek leaves, a small bunch of coriander leaves, divided, 1 cup plain yogurt, 1/4 teaspoon saffron, store-bought fried onions for garnishing.
So for the vegetable biryani, we've already gone ahead and washed our rice and we've soaked it in water for an hour. And if you don't have an hour, half an hour at least. And we've got our water boiling over here, 8 cups of water, which we're going to, once it comes to a good boil, we're going to pour the rice in there. And you can take it from here.
Great. One thing we need to do beforehand, this is something we're going to use at the end of the process, but we just get it started right now. We're going to soak a little bit of saffron in some water and let it soak there so the water gets all the color in there.
So this is 2 tablespoons of water, and we put the saffron in, and I'm just going to mix it and just let it sit for a while till the water gets a good color. And the longer you leave it, the better actually.
Right. So while that sits, we're going to go ahead and start our biryani masala. So we're making a fresh masala right here. The proportion we use is 3 whole dried red chilies to 3 whole cloves to 1 tablespoon of whole coriander seeds. So if you need more masala or if you need less, you can use that proportion and make as much as you need. Right. So we have a pan here. We're going to turn it on medium heat. And we're going to go ahead and dry roast this masala. The roasting actually releases a lot of flavor, and you're actually going to roast it until you get a nice aroma and your chilies turn like a dark red color. Add it in. Now this is a step that you can definitely do in advance. The only thing is fresh ground masalas, they tend to lose flavor if you keep them over time. So it's going to taste the best if you do it right away or just a couple of days in advance, but it's not good to store it for a long time.
But you can make a double batch and just use it over 2 times at least,
right.
Where you're not doing the same process again.
Exactly. So you're going to stir this off and on. Make sure you don't leave it sitting right there, otherwise the bottom will burn and the top won't be cooked. So gently stir, and it does take a few minutes for this process. Okay, so our peppers and our coriander seeds are nicely browned and they're releasing this wonderful aroma. So we know they're ready to go. We can go ahead and switch off our stove. And it's important that we cool this mixture down before we grind it. So we're going to take it out into another plate so it doesn't keep burning. And we're going to set this aside for a few minutes and let it cool. Okay, for our rice, water is nice and rolling boil. So we're going to add in our whole spices. We have a bay leaf, cinnamon stick, and a cardamom, green cardamom, and some whole cloves. And we're going to go ahead and add in our rice also at this time. We've gone ahead and drained all the water out of the rice. And we're also going to add some salt, and it's very important you add salt when you're cooking this rice because the flavor of the salt has to go inside of the grains. And also a teaspoon of oil that's going to help the grains from sticking to each other. And finally, a couple of fresh mint leaves. This adds a wonderful flavor to the rice.
And we're going to let it come back to a boil, and we're actually going to turn on the timer from now onwards for 5 minutes. And the rice needs to be like kind of on the raw side, so about 3/4 of the way cooked, and the rest of the cooking is going to be done later. So while the rice is cooking, the masala is actually cooled down, and it's very important that you do cool it down, otherwise it's not going to grind properly.
And again, you're going to grind this to a not a fine powder, but just a rough grind. Okay, so that's our 5-minute timer. It's going off. So we can go ahead and switch off the stove on our rice, and immediately we're going to drain this and strain out all the water, and we'll be back. Okay, we've strained all the water out of our rice. We're going to go ahead and put in a little bit of ghee, which is clarified butter, on top of this, and fluff it up gently so that the rice grains don't break. This is going to add a wonderful flavor to the biryani. So we're going to work on our vegetables now. We're going to lightly marinate these just for a few minutes. We're going to start off with our ginger garlic paste in a bowl. And we're going to add in our dry spices, which is our coriander powder and our turmeric powder.
Wrong order, sorry.
And we're also going to add in a little bit of salt.
You don't want to put a whole lot because otherwise the water, the vegetables will let the water go. So just a little bit so it has some flavor but not dripping.
And we'll put a little bit more at the end.
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and add in our vegetables in here. Just the cauliflower. We have potatoes. Now if you notice, we've kept all our vegetables in big chunks because while it cooks and then it's going to cook on the stove, it's going to cook in the oven, we don't want them to fall apart. So it's best to keep them nice and big, so even if they do fall apart a little, you'll still be able to see them. That was our carrots. Here's green peas. We have green beans. We have whole chilies. We've just slit them. Some cilantro, coriander leaves. And we have some fresh mint leaves. Again, it's going to add a lot of flavor to the dish. Now, if your mint leaves are huge, you can chop them up. Ours, we have little tiny baby leaves, so we're just going to break them with our hands.
And actually when you break them and put them and tear them and put them, they have a lot more flavor. They spread the flavor a lot more than just the whole thing. Wow.
It smells so good. Yeah, very good. Okay, and finally we have our dried fenugreek leaves. So I'm just going to take some in my hand and just powder it. Spread it around.
And give it a good mix.
And this is just going to sit and marinate just for a few minutes while we work on the rest of our ingredients. We have a medium-sized non-stick pan going on medium heat right now. We're going to add in our oil. Our oil is hot, so we're going to lightly saute the cashews and walnuts. Okay, these are nice and golden brown, so I'm going to pull them to the side and drain all the excess oil out of there. And we're going to take them out in a bowl. And you don't want to put these on a paper towel because, again, they're going to go back into the mixture, and we kind of want to hold on to the oil because this is the same amount of oil we're using for everything.